Okay, class, thanks for your patience. Here's the video I promised you about how to create a PowerPoint presentation. Also, we're going to look at some specifics on how to copy and paste pictures quickly and easily from the internet to your presentations. And then if we have time at the end, we'll go through how to save your presentation either to your own computer or saving it to your email. And we'll go from there. If you already understand these steps and you're very capable and comfortable with making presentations, I would say save your time and don't view this video. We went over the exact same principles in class, but if you want a refresher and you want to know step by step, this would be a good tool for you to watch, and then you can do it on your own. Thank you. Okay, let me start you out. First of all, you need to choose your browser. One of the browsers I like, now it's up to you, but I like Google Chrome because, and I'll show you in a second, it's very easy to pull up images that you can use for your presentations. And so if you'll go on to Google Chrome, I already have it open, but you can use any browser, okay? I'm doing this, by the way, through Screencast-O-Matic. That's another great tool. If you're interested in learning that, we can do a tutorial on that as well. But let's go ahead. I'll open up Chrome and Google. The good thing about Google Chrome, right on the address bar, you can type in, and that's the same thing as the search bar in Google. But use what you want. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to open up PowerPoint. I have a PowerPoint. Hopefully you were able to get a PowerPoint, and when you open it up, you can go blank presentation, or you can do something fancy with a background. Let's try something simple here. Let's do this. Why don't we'll go purple. Okay, and so I'm picking, I mean, you can pick any color that you want. Yeah, let's try this. And then we create. So here's our PowerPoint, and we'll show you at the end how to save your PowerPoint. But let's go ahead and let's just do a quick title. This is, again, your specific assignment is to do a presentation on a celebration or a ceremony. And so that's something that you can do. I'm going to just do a mock presentation. And let's see, in class we talked about graduation, so why don't we just do that again? I know that that works well. So you can do a title, you can do your name, and then to add a slide, it's very simple right here. You can just hit new slide, boom, and then it gives you the next slide. So again, I'm going to repeat the title, graduation. Then I'm going to come down, and you need to have at least 3 topics that you're going to discuss. And so one that I talked about in class was the ceremony. Now you have to excuse my computer. In fact, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do just disregard this for a moment, and I'll tell you why. I have to my keyboard's broken on this laptop, so sometimes my letter E works and sometimes it does not. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I just copied and pasted the letter E. So when it doesn't work, I just put it in. Ceremony, that was one thing. The other thing that we talked about was the people. And so the people that are involved, and then the last thing that we talked about was the celebrations that go along with graduation. So, and again, my E is not working too well. Yeah, half the time it works, half the time it doesn't, so that's why I'm doing this. There you go. So ceremony, people, and celebrations. Now you can make this bigger. You can simply just highlight it, and sometimes this pops up. If you don't want to work straight off this and do it here, you can pull your your font bigger. Let's just go 44. That sounds good. You can also do it here. Let's do it on this bar here. Let's make this bigger. If you don't want to use here, if that doesn't pop up, sometimes it pops up and goes away. Again, it's all up here. So you can do your font up here. Let's go 54, 60. Make it a little bigger than your topics of graduation. All right, so that would be a good intro slide. Remember, we want to tell them what we're talking about. We want to give a few points that we're going to talk about, and we'll do that in detail. So let's just pretend we're going to do 1, 2, 3 more slides in the middle here, and you can do more. It doesn't have to be the 5-paragraph essay style, but that is a good way to organize, I will admit. So then here we've got ceremony. Watch what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to copy and paste. And the way I copy and paste, you can right click and just copy. That's one way to do it. Or one thing that I really enjoy is hitting the control key on the bottom left corner and the letter C at the same time simultaneously. And so when you do that, that automatically copies whatever is highlighted. So I'm just going to go here, copy. I'll go down to my next slide. I'm going to highlight that. Again, I like to hold down the control key and then hit C, and then I'll go over and I'll click in there, and I'll just control V is how you paste it. And notice that that's smaller. I'm going to bring that up again. You probably want to have all of them be the same size. Okay. I don't know what I did with ceremony. Ceremony, I left it. So we'll take these bigger so our headings are at least consistent for each section. Okay. And then the last one was celebrations. So again, I'm just copying and pasting. Okay. All right. We'll go down to that next one. And celebrations. And you have already come up with your outline, and so you know what it is that you're doing. Okay. And go from there. And then, of course, you'll conclude. And you can conclude. You can just write conclusion. Okay. So now we have our basic structure there of our presentation. The next thing is, let's just do that. Next thing is I want to show you, let's go back to that second slide. I want to show you how to, like we did in class, I want to show you how to capture images, okay? Capture images and how to use those as part of your slides. There are many ways to do this, but if you're going to do just generic pictures, then one thing that you can do, now here's another technique that you can always minimize right here, and then you can see I've got, well, you can't because I've got my Google, okay, and I also have my PowerPoint. Those two are the two things that I have open right now, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Google. Right in the address bar, I'm just going to type graduation. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull up. See up here, it gives you some choices. Right now, it's going to give me results for everything. I'm going to go to images, and here you have a lot of different pictures. So let's get something interesting. How about this one? Looks really good. This one looks great too. Okay, let's say we decide to go with this for graduation picture. Okay. Right click, you can copy the image, okay, and then you can, again, I like to hit Alt, so right next to the space bar, just to the left of the space bar, the button that says ALT, I hold that down, and then I simultaneously hit Tab on the top left, just under the number 1, okay. So I hit Tab and watch what it does. It shows what applications are open. So I've got 4 things open on my computer. I've got Internet Explorer open on their homepage. I have this page that I'm currently on, and I have my PowerPoint presentation. So again, you're holding down the Alt key, and you're just pushing the tab button, and every time you push the tab button, it takes you to a different screen. Okay, so we're going to go back. I like to go back and forth, back and forth. I'm going to leave it on the PowerPoint now, and so I'm going to go there. Now, here's something to keep in mind. Notice when I click on the word, you can see that the parameters open up right here, this little box. That opens up, and that box shows you that you're typing in that box right now. Okay? If I click outside of that, it disappears. So that's not the focus right now. If I go on this one, it's another text box. And again, this is for typing your words and your messages. If I go outside of that and click, left click, it leaves that box alone. Before I add a picture, I want to close these boxes so that I'm not adding the picture in the box necessarily, okay? Because sometimes that can mess up the words that you have written. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click off to the side over here, and then I'm going to hit Control Paste or Control V. Control key is the bottom left corner of your keyboard, and you hold that down and then you hit V. And you can also do just a right click and your paste options, and it's usually the far right, and then you click on that. Now this one worked out very nicely. It's a small picture. See that? Small picture. And then if you go to the corners here, you can see that that will make it, it's best to work off the corner. If I work off this to resize the picture, I'm going to distort the picture. Okay? See that? If I work off of this, then it simultaneously does the horizontal and the vertical. So I can do that. Now if I have the 4 arrows, see how I have my cursor, I just put it on the middle there. And if I hold down with my left click button, then I can move it around. Okay? If I let go of the button, it goes and it releases it, and it leaves it right there. So this is a good picture. I'm gonna put this picture in. I'm gonna move it over a little bit so my words aren't covered up. You can have the picture go off the screen too, and all that will do is just leave it off. Okay, so there's some graduates. Okay, that's a good visual. Now the next part is ceremony. Let's go to the next slide. By the way, let me add one more. Let's go down to the very bottom, conclusion, and we'll go into more detail about this, but it's good to get in the habit of giving credit where credit is due. And so one thing that I like to do is, and we can go into maybe on another occasion how to document or give credit in MLA format, but right now I'm just going to save. I'm going to add a slide, and then just down here in this new slide at the very end, I'm just going to do, again, I'm going to hit Alt Tab and go back to my Google, and you can see up here, if I click one time up here, it highlights the whole bar, and then I can copy that whole thing. I'm using, again, Control, hold that down and hit Copy. I release that, then I hit Alt and Tab, and I go back to the PowerPoint presentation, and then I like to go ahead and just enter that website where I got it, the URL. Okay, so I'm going to paste that, Control V, or you can right click, and then there I have that one. Now that's just a bunch of code and symbols there, but at least it gives me the direct link to all the pictures that I've used. Okay, and we can talk about that later. All right, let's go to ceremony here. And as part of the ceremony, I'm not going to write a whole lot right now. Just like I said, my letter E key is broken. But as you remember in class, I showed you the example of like convocation. That works. That doesn't have a convocation, and we can make that bigger. And then we also talked about, let's see here, let's go about 40. And then we could tell about the convocation. I think I shared with you the School of Education, how we had the convocation ceremony the day before we had our commencement or the graduation ceremony with everyone. Okay, so what picture you put with that? Well, let's go back to Google Chrome. Now here I'm just gonna, I don't need to do anything but type in, I'm gonna write college of education, and I'm going to say GCU because that's where I graduated from the College of Education from Grand Canyon, okay, University. So I'm going to go there, I'll click on that, and again you're going to want to find an image that will match that. And maybe we take this image. That's a good one, right? That's just Grand Canyon University in general. Again, I'm going to copy that, right click, copy the image, and then I'm going to go back to the other screen. I like to hit Alt and Tab, and then remember, I don't want to paste it in this box while that box is open. Let me show you what happens when you do that. Sometimes it messes things up. Didn't do too badly, but again I'm gonna hit Control Z. I just to not mess up with the formatting, I like to do it separate or outside. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit Control V. I'm gonna move this over. That's about the right size. Okay, you can make it bigger, smaller, whatever you like. I can do another picture of the College of Education. So let's go back. Remember, I like to save where I got my information. I'll add that down here at the end for right now. Okay, and then let's go back and let's do. I'm gonna hit back here. Here we have the College of Education, GCU. Images again. I guess I could have stayed on that same page. Let's see if there's a good visual of that right here. This is very simple. So is this one, but this says specifically the College of Education. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint, and I'm going to go back up to that same slide. I want to find an image that comes off too big. These are all working out perfectly. They're really small and nice. I'm going to show you one that will come off too big and show you how to manage that. So again, on this slide I would talk about the convocation and what we did and when that took place and what happened there. Okay. Next one, people. Typically to your graduation, the ceremony, you're going to typically invite family and friends. And my E is not working, so that's okay. Family and friends, okay? And so, again, I need to find a picture that will go with that, okay? Let's make this a little bit bigger here. I'm going to go back to about 44, and I'm going to steal an E here, if I can. It's not letting me. Just because that's bothering me, not having the E in friends. Alright, so there we go. Now I got family and friends. Okay, I need to get this keyboard fixed is what I need to do. The next thing is finding a picture of family and friends. Now if you have a specific picture of your own family, that's fine. You can upload that from your computer. In fact, notice right here on PowerPoint, if you have a newer version, it says here, insert a video, online pictures, so that'll take you straight to the internet. Pictures, now that will give you the option to pull up a picture maybe from your computer, okay? And so you could do that. You can insert tables, charts, any kind of, looks like a smart art graphic. So, but again, you can just do it the way we're doing it as well. Let's go over to Google. I didn't insert this one. Let me put this down here with my my sources here. All right, very good. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to do family. Okay. And with family, again, I'm going to go to images, and you can choose, again, here's where it'd be nice to have your own family picture, make it personal. But I'll just use this picture here. And let's see here. Whoops, I clicked on it. If you click on the picture, it's going to take you to that exact site. And so, in my opinion, that's not necessary. You can get the picture just by right-clicking and then going to your site. And I'm just going to notice again, I don't have the text box. I'll just click to the side, no text box, and then I'm going to paste that picture. And it looks, I was hoping it'd be a little bit bigger. Okay. Let's pretend that, because this happens sometimes, you put a picture on and it ends up being huge. It's like gigantic. It covers up your whole screen. How do you work with that? How do you get it to go on? Well, one thing you can do is you can move it over, and then I just grab the corner and I just shrink it down a little bit, not too much, and then I pull it back, shrink it down a little more, pull it back, shrink it down a little more, and then pull it back until I get it to the size that I would like, or the size that will work best for my slide. Okay, so there's a picture. Boom, family. And again, in your presentation, you would obviously talk about it. I want you to have limited notes here on each slide so that you're talking and you're speaking to us. You're not reading straight from your slide. Okay, we can all read. We want you to deliver your message. It does not have to be a memorized presentation. You can do that if you feel more comfortable, but I would rather you have ideas and then talk about those ideas and how they work to the overall whole of the presentation. All right, and then we went on with celebrations. I've given you a few examples, again, of how you can add pictures to your presentation. Okay, I hope that this has been helpful. Now let me last of all just show you really quickly. I'm going to pause here and pull up my emails and show you how to save this into your email. Okay, let me pause right now. Okay, I'm back. Now what I did here is I formatted my screen and made it a little bigger so that you can see now the whole screen. And let me show you, first of all, you'll want to save the file. So go to File and then come down and you need to save it as. And I'm going to go ahead and save it to this computer. I know in class I showed you how to save it to your desktop, which you can do. Maybe we'll do that right now, just in case you're at the library and you don't want to save it to the library computer permanently. So I'm going to save it to, let's see, this PC, and let me see what I have in store for folders. Give me a second here. Okay, so you can see you have some choices here. This PC, underneath this PC, I'm going to go to the desktop here, and I'll show you why. So if you're in the library and you don't have a flash drive, you can just, again, there are many ways to do this, but you can go ahead and save it to the desktop. So I got on desktop. I've got on graduation. Just took the first word from my file. You can save it under whatever name you'd like. Let's do graduation GCU. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and save that. Now watch. I'm going to go now. Let's minimize this for a second. We'll minimize this. Now notice my desktop. It added it on one of the sections, and where is it? Over here hiding. Okay, so that's what it'll do if you do this in the library. It'll put it on your desktop. You can do this if you're at your own computer at home. You can go ahead and put it on your just on the computer itself. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that as well. Let's go back and show you. If you're going to just save it to your computer, you can just save as, and then you can go to a different, here, let me pull this up. There we go. I like to put mine under my documents, and then let's just go MCC, okay, and then I'll just throw it in here. Okay, so now it's on my computer, but you can just put it on the desktop if you're at the library. Now, the next thing you would want to do is upload this, or I'd like you to send it to yourself so you have access to it, okay? If you're going to continue to work on it on another computer or continue to work on it later on. So let's go ahead and open up my email, okay? I'm going to pause this while I open my email. Okay, now I'm in my email here, and as I go in, you can just go ahead and start an email. So I'm going to compose an email. Your email might look different. I'm going to send it to myself, okay? So I'm just going to send it right to myself here. Boom. And I'm going to just write graduation GCU, okay? And so then when you go on your email, let me pull this up here if it lets me. Not letting me. Notice down here on the bottom it has this paperclip. You want to click on the paperclip, attach files. So I'm going to do that. Now remember, I put this on my desktop, so I need to go over to where it says desktop. I'm going to click on desktop right here. You can see it. Oh, don't move it. I'm going to click on desktop, and I'm going to, now it's listing everything that's there on my desktop that's saved, and I'm going to go ahead and click on graduation GCU. It should be there, and then I'm going to hit open. And what I did is I just added right down here graduation GCU PowerPoint, okay? I put it right there into my email. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit send. It's still uploading my attachments, okay? And when I send it, let me hit as I update my email, there it is. Now I have a copy of what I was working on, and now I can open it up on another computer and continue to work, okay? So you always have the most current copy. Now if I'm at a library computer, I'm going to go back to the desktop, and you can see there's my graduation. You probably want to get rid of that, so go ahead and right click that, and then just go ahead and hit delete, and it took it off. That way you're not sharing your work with everyone there, okay? All right, so that's the first few steps, again, to continue to work on these presentations. Thank you for watching this. If you have specific questions, please let me know. I'd be glad to help you. But I wish you success as you continue to work on these presentations. Thank you.